for all of the seatbelt haters that keep commenting, took 4 trips back and forth. It was an absolute monster though. All right, we're getting started today on a very interesting and easy start. I literally have to pull my car out of the garage and bring it into the garage that's literally right next door, because I got this order while I was sitting at home. And it's nothing crazy, but I'm like, this is just easy enough, you know, like we might as well just get started. And it didn't look like a bunch of batches were coming in the garage right next door. So it's kind of silly, but we're taking something that's this easy. There wasn't that much volume, like there was only a few batches coming in. And I'm like, I'm basically already at the store, so we might as well just get started on this one. So we're gonna do this one real quick. It's 2 customers. And it does have alcohol. It does have, I think, 2 12-packs, I'm pretty sure. But at least they're not like the 30 packs. Like that's the only thing that like adds up really quickly is when there's like 30 packs of beers and those are really heavy. But 2 12-packs, easy enough. And one of the places is an apartment, but I have my cart, so it should be pretty easy to put things in there. So we'll see if the apartment customer is the one with the alcohol or not. We're gonna get in here, park my car next door, and get started on an easy way to start off this Friday. So we have customer A here, only these bags, and then customer B here. So pretty easy. You can see I still have plenty of space in the trunk, and unfortunately they both have alcohol. There's bottles of wine in here and the cans back there. So hopefully they answer and there's no issues. Okay, so those orders were super easy. I'm just headed to the nearest hotspot on Instacart and hoping to get something good. There is still a boost on Uber right now. I don't know if you guys have been noticing. Still looking at all 3 apps and just seeing what we'll get. Finally got my phone stand working, so now it's doing a great job. I am just stupid and I set the thing up the wrong way, and that's why it was like super unstable. And I knew something had to be wrong with it, but that day that I was messing with it, I kept getting orders back to back and like trying to mess around with it and see what I did wrong. Basically, long story short, there was one small piece that I didn't install the first time, and luckily I found it on the floor of my car because I unboxed it in the car and set it up here. So good thing I even still had that piece. It was just sitting on the floor, because that's the reason why it kept falling and becoming unstable, because that piece had to screw into it. So now that I have that set up, it's finally stable and able to sit on the dash and actually record properly. We got that fixed since last time. It always is bad with the heat, but there's no other place to like put your phone, right? So like I installed this new mount here, but the problem is the phone will overheat when you set it in the mount, much in the sun. I'm gonna have to take my phone out of here and give it a break every now and then. Otherwise, I know I won't be able to film for the entire day because it'll overheat. I did also recently get a second phone, and I've mentioned before that I was thinking about that for a while. Just didn't know when I was gonna pull the trigger on that. I have, so I'm super excited. I now have a separate phone that is only for Instacart, and it's been coming in handy. Literally the very first day I had it, it was a Monday, so not even a particularly good day. And I was shopping a Sprouts order for Doordash and just had the Instacart phone sitting right in the cart where I could see it. And I missed the screenshot because I'm like, I need to insert it here, obviously. But I got an $80 order, and I also got Verizon. So I made 2 changes that I've been thinking about, and I finally just did it. Now, between having good service, or much better service, and having a second phone, it has been helping me a lot and making sure that I can stay on the screen and not miss orders. All right, so we took something that was decent but not great because I've been sitting for a while. It's $2.56. And I just got this batch. So this one, I actually waited for it to go up, which is always a little bit risky, but I did see one decent batch for the fries that was downtown and passed on that one. And then it got rebatched to the fries that's a little bit north of where I am, and that one got taken too quickly. And this one I just decided to grab. So it started out as a 49, and then I took it at 54.22. So I'm a lot happier with this pay for it. The reason why I was like scrolling through the items, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. There's 6 gallons of water, and there's 10 individual bottles of Gatorade. So that's why the units are high, but the item count's low. So it's only 41 items. but it's 73 units. So I'm not looking forward to doing this one. I got more excited though, because when I clicked on it, it is a guest order. So that means the tip is not gonna go down if stuff is not in stock, which is a big relief, because when I see multiples of certain items, I always get worried that they're not gonna be in stock. And then a lot of times the customer doesn't want a substitute, and then the tip goes down if they tip percentage based. So that's not gonna happen with us. And it's the perfect situation for this to be a guest order, because like I said, there's 10 individual bottles of Gatorade, and yeah, they tend to stack those shelves pretty well with like the individual Gatorade bottles, but 10 is a lot. And I'm like, there's no promises they're gonna have that. So at least I don't have to worry about, if they don't, that I'm not gonna get the tip changed. I'm like, I'm just gonna snag it at 54, because I think it's probably gonna be gone, and maybe it could have gone up by like $2 more, but I'm like, I was sitting long enough to where I'm like, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna knock it out. I don't know what's going on there. There's 4 cops, so hopefully not something too bad. Let me know if you guys would have taken this. I will film what the order actually looks like, because that is going to really impact whether or not I regret taking this or not. But I'm like, I think I was sitting long enough to where I'd rather just do something like this, even though it's not amazing. This one was actually easier than I thought. It only took 20 minutes to shop, so a lot of water. So we have customer A here, customer C all behind here, and then customer B is stacked, loaded up on top. This one was hard to separate because the orders are similar sizes. If you guys know, I hate these, but we barely fit customer B's stuff on top. And then, yeah, just some heavy stuff. But yeah, 20 minutes to shop. All right, so we're off actually much quicker than I thought this would be. I guess because the items were lower, that's why it took me a shorter time than I thought it would. Is it was 70 units, but didn't have to find as many items. So that actually went quicker than I thought. I knew my inkling was correct for those Gatorades. That's initially why I was also hesitant to accept this batch. So I saw there's 10 of one item, and I'm like, they're unlikely to have that, and then the tip's gonna go down. And just like I thought, they only had 2 bottles left, and I asked the employees to make sure, and they said they were all out on the shelf. So, and I was just buying actually the same item the other day for Doordash from a different store, and also couldn't find the quantity that she wanted. So I only found 2 of those. And then there was one other item. Oh yeah, the one other customer ordered 2 4-packs of protein shakes, and they had none left, so I had to buy singles. So that kind of sucked, but at least I was able to replace it with the single ones. Only replacements or refunds. And yeah, it just went quicker than I thought, because I guess it's lower units or item count. So let's head to the first customer. I am 5 minutes away, and this customer this is the one with the heavier items. So we'll see how long it takes me, because originally I did say I was thinking it would be an hour-and-a-half order, just going off of the 70 units and 3 customers. But I'm definitely gonna get it done faster than that. So I'm excited, because especially when there's a batch that's borderline and you do end up accepting it, when it goes better than you thought, that's best case scenario, and it's more surprising, right? Like, obviously it's one thing to see a batch that's an instant accept. This one was a borderline one that I'm happy I waited for it to go up, but I didn't wait any longer, because I guarantee I would have lost it, as it already went up 3 separate times, and by $5. It went from a 49 to a 54. So I'm glad I snagged it when I did. It's 3:47 is when I'm scheduled to arrive at the first customer, and I got the batch at 2:56. So I might be only like an hour and 5 minutes maybe, because the orders are pretty close to each other. So I might be just over an hour for this one, which is amazing and helps make up for the fact that I kind of waited for a little bit. So yeah, let's keep the momentum up. I think it'll be easy after this, because it always picks up in the late afternoon into evening on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Getting something after this. Oh, I just realized I knocked my knee into my cart, and I just realized that the bruise is actually like kind of obvious. No, you can barely tell it's bruised, but I did cut myself, so just for me accidentally knocking my knee into the cart. Oh, and also for all of the seatbelt haters that keep commenting on my videos, and some of them saying just ridiculous things, I do wear my seatbelt like more than half the time when I'm driving around. In my videos, it looks like I never wear it, just because the way that I'm filming and everything. Regardless, I know I should be wearing it all the time. So yes, I'm making it a point to not only show my seatbelt, but make sure I'm wearing it all the time, because you guys know how this is if you're doing this type of work. You're getting in and out of the car so many times, especially if you're doing food delivery, that especially if I'm going like 2 minutes up the street, I don't put it on. I know I shouldn't. And I am aware that in my videos, I was looking at them and I'm like, it looks like I literally never wear my seatbelt. So I do understand the comments. Some people are being a little ridiculous, though, I have to admit, like calling me like a disgrace and like the worst person ever, which I think is hilarious over something that doesn't affect you at all. Like, it only affects my safety if I'm not wearing a seatbelt, and I probably don't even live where you are, so don't get why we're really that upset about it. But regardless, anyone who's honestly commenting because they care about my safety, I do appreciate that. And I do need to make sure that I'm not just wearing my seatbelt half the time, because I would say that's honestly on average what I do if I'm just being truthful about like what my habits are. But we're not doing that. We're making sure that we have it on all the time, because you guys that are commenting, you know, in a nice way, you are right that I should make sure I wear it all the time, especially with driving around this often for work. You do, you know, put yourself at higher risk just in general, no matter if you're wearing the seatbelt or not, but just because you're driving around more often and even getting in an accident that's not your fault, you are just at higher risk in general. There's my spiel on that. So I'm about to pull up to the first customer's address, so let's get this first heaviest order knocked out. All right, so that order ended up taking me like an hour and 12 minutes by the time I found the person's apartment. The third customer was an apartment, but the first two were houses. That's a pretty big win, 2 out of 3 being quick drop-offs. So yeah, I'm really happy with that order. It ended up being faster than I thought. And especially when you're on the border of taking something and you're like, do I take it, do I not? It's always great. Usually those end up going the other way, at least in my experience. I'm very happy that was not the case here. And I only waited a couple minutes and I got this Uber order, which I'm gonna have to put the screenshot after because I missed the screenshot. It was a match order and I don't even know why I didn't screenshot it. Like I couldn't tell you why. But it was a great one. It was promised like $14 on the screen and I was still like 7 minutes from the restaurant. So I called the restaurant. Do that if you don't. That's my advice. That this is always what I do, because on Uber Eats, a lot of times things that look too good to be true are because someone else picked up the order and stole it, because then the algorithm will keep recirculating that order with higher pay. See something that you think is too good to be true, just call the restaurant and ask them. And this one I almost didn't call because I'm like, okay, $14 for one order is pretty high, but it's not crazy. But I'm like, I'm not gonna drive 7 minutes away just for them to say someone picked it up. And I called, it's there. So that's always a nice surprise. So yeah, this is $14 and I think it was quoted for like 20 minutes. Lots of bonuses recently where they're offering like $1 to $2 of boost per order, which that adds up really quickly. So yeah, this, I think he even said it was ready. He's like, oh yeah, we have that. So I'm excited. We're gonna go grab this one, see how long it takes me, and I'll add the screenshot after to see what it comes out to, but I know it was promised 14 up front. I did have to wait just 2 minutes there. It wasn't quite ready, but it's just one, I mean, it's a pretty full bag, but one bag of food, and it was promised $14, and I think the boost on it was about $2. So we'll see what it ends up at, but I'm like, I'm just happy that this one was real and not something that I've been picked up. And my cancellation rate on Uber is a little high too, so I really can't afford to be taking stuff that is likely to be stolen, because if you know, you do get blamed for that. Like, you take the hit on your cancellation rating. If you accept an order, you get to the restaurant and they tell you it's already been picked up or stolen, which is usually the case when someone's already picked it up, you do get punished for canceling that order, and you can only have your cancellation rate be at 15 max. Wouldn't push it that close either. Like, I would say at the very max 14%, because you're still really close to that threshold. Mine's a little high, so I'm like, I can't be taking stuff that I think is too good to be true, so I'm very relieved that this was real. Just like I was hoping, great volume happening on all of the apps right now, so I think I can probably get one back to back after this. So that order is dropped off, and as I was literally dropping the order off at their door, I got this Instacart order, and I'm like, this is the type of order that I would do all day, because it's a quick, easy order for $40. And let me know what you guys think, but I'd rather do orders like this as often as possible than maybe wait for like a 60 that's like, 70 or 80 units. Also, what's even better about this is there's no alcohol, so it's not tied to a certain store, and it's Sprouts, and all the Sprouts around me pretty much all have the same inventory, and I'm literally 1 minute away. Like, I'm about to pull into the parking lot of a different Sprouts that is right next to the drop-off that I just had for the Uber order. So I'm just gonna shop it here because the deliveries are in between these two Sprouts locations, and I'm not gonna drive west in the traffic. It'll just end up taking me longer. So I'm literally pulling into the Sprouts parking lot right now, and we're gonna shop this one here instead and then drop it off. All right, so some bad news with that one. There was a laundry cleaner, it was, or a floor cleaner that she ordered 2 of, and they were priced at $12 each, and they were sold out. And I found the spot on the shelf, and I couldn't find an employee, and I was near the checkout, so I asked her, and I said like, oh, is all the household cleaning, is all of that on the shelf? Because I was looking for a specific item, and she kind of looked at me like it was a dumb question. So I tried. $24 off the total, and it was on the bigger order, so I'm only assuming this order is going to go down by at least a couple dollars. So that kind of sucks because it was a 40, so it was already like right on the edge, so it's going to end up being a 30 something, which really sucks. But yeah, nothing you can do about that, and that is one of the biggest drawbacks of doing Instacart is most customers tip percentage based. So if a store is out of stock of something and they don't want a replacement, then you are going to get less than the promised batch pay up front because you're refunding something and they are paying based on, or they're tipping based on the order total. So yeah, I know this one's gonna go down a little bit. Of course, now I'm thinking to myself, like, if I went to the other one, what if they had that floor cleaner in stock? Because it's like the one item you don't want them to be out of stock is anything expensive, because that's gonna influence the total the most, but nothing we can do. So we'll just see how much I end up getting paid on this one. Even if it goes down a little bit, it's still a great order. Okay, so that order ended up taking about 40 minutes. It went down to about a 38 and some change, so it could have been worse. $24 in refunds, I thought for sure was gonna go down by more than that. So I'm just grateful that it didn't. Amazing pay for the time. So I just started heading a little bit back to the area I normally work in, and within less than 10 minutes, I got this order. So I'm like, we're doing this. And I hesitated for a little bit, but I looked through the items. And this is why getting grocery orders on any platform besides Instacart is so nice, because you actually have a second to look at the order in person. So a food delivery and the groceries. And the item count or the unit count was really high on the groceries, but that's because they ordered a bunch of those baby food packets. And those are so tiny. I'm like, I don't care if I have to buy a bunch of those. And that's why this order is like 50 units. So it was super easy, even though it was, I think, more than 50 units. This one was super easy, and it was one drop off. It's nice when you get a double stack and either the restaurants are the same or the drop off is the same. So you can save yourself an extra stop. One done in like 45 minutes, and it was $38. So they tipped separately for the grocery order and for the food delivery, but it was able to route me to both orders. But because it's Friday at dinner time now, I'm assuming that I'm probably gonna switch over to doing food delivery. But so far the day's been going really well. I only had that one period of time where I was waiting a little bit for an order, and that was earlier when I first started. I think I ended up waiting like 30 minutes for an order, but since then it's been back to back. So super happy about that. I hate waiting around, and it's just very discouraging too, because the longer you wait, the more like picky, at least this is how I am. I get picky. I'm like, well, I don't want to wait this long and then settle for something that's just mid. All right, so I only waited a few minutes. I had to get gas. There's literally like good order after good order coming in. I'm just trying to pick which one to do. I'm sitting by Total Wine, which is listed as a hotspot on Instacart right now. And I've missed some really amazing Total Wine orders before. So I was kind of hopeful for that, but I'm not gonna pass these up for like hope of waiting at Total Wine. We should just be taking stuff when they toss us. So this is an amazing order. I'm like, I'm not passing this up just to sit at Total Wine. I know I'm gonna regret it. And I was right by where the first pickup is. So we're gonna go into Five Guys and get the first pickup. If you know that you have to wait for them to make it. So I'm gonna get in there as soon as possible. All right, so we got the Five Guys. While I was in there, I missed 46 Instacart. I think it was only 40 units and 2 customers. but I literally missed it because I have 2 phones in my hand, car keys, and a water bottle. So even though the phone's sitting there with the screen open, I couldn't even click it fast enough. So unfortunate, even with another separate phone going, you're still gonna miss some, especially because like carrying 2 phones around is really clumsy, and that's like comes with its own set of problems. Like, yeah, you can't keep the app open the entire time, but carrying around 2 phones, like I just missed that because I have too many things in my hands. I probably couldn't have done both. I probably would have had to cancel the Uber, and my cancellation rate's a little high, so I probably would have had to cancel that, which is not ideal, but obviously would have rather done that one. So I'll just keep my eyes open for more Instacart still. Either way, I'm right across the street from the second pickup for this Uber. This was a great Uber order. It's quoted to take 30 minutes, and I think it's a $20 order. So this is still an amazing order. Hopefully it's ready right when I get there. Had to wait a few minutes at Five Guys. And yeah, we'll just run this one as quick as we can and just look for our next one. Alright, so we got out to a very late start today. It is Saturday, and I slept in and hung out early in the morning, so no working, and now it is almost 4 o'clock. So when I say late, I mean late, because normally I do get up and go to the Costco drop on Saturdays and stay out for the majority of the day, and I really wanted to see how much money I could make by just working partial days on the weekends and only going out when it's the busiest, and see if I can still hit $600 in one weekend. Tomorrow I also do plan on working the entire day, and then yesterday and today I only did like partial days. I went out in the late afternoon. So I just got my first order. Starting off with the super easy order. This was a match order on Uber Eats, which I really don't like these because sometimes they do weird things. And this one, it'll do weird things sometimes. Sometimes it'll say you didn't get it and then it'll give it to you. So I don't know, it's just kind of annoying. I'm just trying to maximize what I can make in a short period of time by only working the more concentrated busy times. There was a 55 on Instacart that popped up right when I got the Uber order, and it was for 75 units at Sprouts, 3 customers and 8 miles. And the third customer was going a little bit far away, so I hesitated. I was thinking about taking it, and I decided to pass on it, so hopefully I don't regret that. I think I will, because things are really starting to pick up now with the food delivery orders. I didn't want to get caught up in doing a 55 that was going to take an hour and a half plus. It's hard to estimate. I do wish that Instacart would put time estimates on the offer screen. If anyone else agrees with that, please let me know, because there are so many. All the other apps give you time estimates, and yeah, it's not going to be perfect because there are things outside of your control. And grocery shopping, I know, is probably even harder to estimate, especially on the bigger orders, because some people are faster than others. But it would help so much if they would put some sort of time estimate on the offer screen like the other apps do. Because otherwise, you really just go off your own experience, and you don't really know how long things will take until you do enough orders to be like, oh, I did one just like that before and it took this long or whatever. All right, so just shortly, like probably 2 to 3 minutes after dropping off that Uber order, I just got this order on Instacart for Sprouts, and it's pretty good. It's nothing crazy, but it's a good one. It's solid. So I'm like, we're definitely taking this. It's $44 for 45 items, 50 units, 3 customers, and it's actually for my favorite Sprouts that I'm the fastest at, but I am 2 minutes away right now from another Sprouts, and the delivery is actually in between the 2 Sprouts locations, which is perfect because this batch is going to take me way less time because I can just drive 2 minutes up the street to this Sprouts instead of driving 14 minutes out of my way just to get to the store that it's batched for. I also did look at the order of the addresses, and yeah, this is going to severely cut down my time. I know it's hard to explain this without using like local terms that don't make sense to anyone who's not local. Luckily, I'm really happy with this because I'm a 14-minute drive from the location this is set for, and I'm a 2-minute drive from the nearest Sprouts, and the customers' addresses are super close to this one as well. It's really not gonna matter either way, so I just saved myself 12 minutes of the extra time it would have taken to drive to the other location. Probably not like the best order ever, but I'm a lot faster at Sprouts than I am at some of the bigger stores. And yeah, being able to not have to drive to the other store and I can start pretty much right away is amazing. So I just pulled up and I got a spot in the front. So let's shop it at this location and get it done as fast as we can. That was easy enough. I think it took about 25 minutes to shop, so a little bit longer for that many units. I had to wait at the meat counter and at the deli counter, so that kind of held me up a little bit. And I am a little slower at this Sprouts than I am at the one that the batch was designated for, but not slow enough to justify an extra 12-minute drive. 9-minute drive from the first customer's address. And while I was in there at the checkout, the Sprouts employees were handing these out, I don't know, to the cashiers, and he asked me if I wanted one, so I got one for free. And these are actually like really expensive. I've already had these before. I actually bought some at Costco and they were a really good price. And yeah, I already know I love these, so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take one of those for free. Actually still haven't eaten lunch yet, and I did pack my lunch, so I was good about that. Because on the weekends, I'm not always great at packing my lunch, and I let myself get a lunch out while I'm shopping probably twice a week. All right, that was a little bit unfortunate. The second delivery was an apartment, and it was the smallest order. And it took me probably like 5 minutes just to walk all throughout the hallways. And I hate how Instacart does this because we know that order's tipping a very small amount, and they could have just put these two bigger orders together. And it's always, I swear it's like always the smallest one or the order with the least tip that's the most hassle. It's like they do it on purpose. I don't know how the algorithm works. So it's gonna end up being an hour and 5-minute delivery, which for a 44 is really not bad. I just like to aim a little higher than that just because the wait times on Instacart. The wait times are so long that to compensate for that, I feel like you really have to hit a pretty high hourly rate. But overall, still happy that I took it, and shopping it at the closer store really helped me a lot. 1 minute away now from the third customer, and this one is a house. So at least I got 2 houses and only 1 apartment on my triple stack. First instances of Instacart batching small orders that are so terrible with a really good order the other day. It was definitely like the most painful instance of this. It was a $78 order that was going 20 miles. And I let it sit there for a few minutes. I'm like, do I want to take this? And I had already gotten a slow start to the day. And I'm like, it's early in the day. I think I'll just go and stay over in that area by the last drop off. Yeah, the very first delivery tipped $64, and then the other 2 people tipped $2 and 0. So the person that lived the furthest away was the one who was 20 miles from the store, and they tipped $0, and all they ordered was 1 supplement. You can't really tell me that this was the only store that had this supplement. Like, why order it from a store 20 miles away? I don't get it. I'm like, I bet Sprouts has that. Almost guarantee you that Sprouts has this specific supplement, and they chose to order it from like a specialty place 20 miles away. I know the customers really don't care. I guess they don't care how far away it is. They're gonna have to wait longer for the order, but I guess if you're okay with that. It hurt so bad. I didn't regret taking it necessarily. It was a 78 that took an hour and 40 minutes, which is good, but not amazing. It was just the most painful instance of tacking on an order that was so far just because they know no one would ever take it. It is quite a bit later now. You can't even really see me. It is going absolutely off. Here's another good one, but I'm like, I'm not gonna drive that far at this time of night. It has been going off. If you want to do any sort of like DoorDash delivery, gig work, whatever, if you want to do it very part-time or put in like 10 hours a week, just pick Saturday night. And if you want to do groceries, pick Sunday afternoon and you'll be fine. Obviously, I realize that sounds easier said than done because it's like, who wants to work all the time on Saturday nights? But if you can, make it fit for your life or your schedule, or maybe just do it, half the time and then the other half of the month skip those Saturdays. I like staying up late and going out late. So for me, it really doesn't matter because if I want to go have fun, I'll do it after I get home working, unless there's like a specific event or reason or something. But yeah, I cannot wait to see my numbers because I've been going back to back, and there's surprisingly still grocery orders coming in, which is also crazy. I am pretty close to where I live right now, so I'm not gonna go anywhere further away at this point. I would like to do at least one more, but if I wait a few minutes and don't get another one, I'm just gonna call it and go home because I do actually want to get out early tomorrow morning. So I'm really excited for tomorrow. I would love to wake up early enough to do something before the Costco drop, but realistically, I don't think that's gonna happen. And I have been super tired recently and kind of catching up on sleep. So I think the goal is just gonna be to get up in time to get to the Costco drop on Sunday morning. I haven't been to Costco in definitely like a week. Wish me luck to grab something good. Past few times, I've either gotten nothing, I've gotten amazing orders that I missed. So, and I do have my own separate dedicated phone now, which I'm literally so excited about and been loving having the separate phone. It is annoying to carry the two phones around at the same time, but to keep the app open at all times has been awesome. It's literally been paying off right away. The same day that I had the phone for the first time, the two phones, shopping a Sprouts order on Doordash, and because I had the phone, the other phone sitting open on the screen, I got an $80 order while I was sitting at Sprouts for Safeway, and it was a repeat customer. And I think she just always tips 20% of her order total. And she ordered a couple expensive supplements. So it wasn't even that many units. And it was an $80 order, which was just crazy. Never would have got that in a million years if I only had one phone. So I was already shopping a DoorDash order at Sprouts. And also the connection is terrible inside the grocery stores, at least for me. And it's a lot better now that I have Verizon. Their carriers are just so bad and the service is terrible. And with Verizon, I'm able to get things so much quicker. And especially on Instacart is really where it makes the biggest difference because it's like seconds of what makes the difference if you get an order or not. So if you have the best phone service, you have the best chance of grabbing the order before anyone else. So could not speak any more highly of that. I'm super excited now that I have two phones and better service. I'm in a lot better position to be able to grab orders. And I can't wait for the day that I finally get a $100 Costco batch and I can show you guys because there's been 4 or 5 in a row $100 Costco batches that I've seen and I have not gotten a single one yet. But they're out there, I know they exist, and I can't wait for when that actually happens and I can show you guys one that I get. Please see me back again tomorrow morning for the last day and see how much money I can bring home in this weekend, not even working a full day every day. All right, here we are, we're back. It is Sunday and I'm at Costco. I just got gas. And it's actually kind of interesting. I pulled up to get gas and it said, oh, premium only today. And I'm like, oh no, because I only had like a quarter tank. And I knew I was coming to Costco this morning, so I didn't fill up last night as the Costco gas prices are a lot better. But then I saw that it said $3.99 on both the panels, because you could still see the panel even though they said there was no regular. And then the attendant came over and he was like, oh yeah, just so everyone knows, we only have premium fuel today, but we did lower the price on the premium fuel to the regular price of the other gas. I'm like, all right, sounds nice enough to me, as long as it's not gonna hurt the car, which it doesn't. Reduced cost premium gas for my nice old car to drive on for this Instacart day. We're starting off to a great start because I was at the drop. It's 10:05 right now. And there were some good orders coming in. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling good. I'm gonna grab a good one. And there was a 64 for 48 items and 14 miles that I passed on. That one got taken pretty much right away. And then there was a 58 for only 2 customers, 38 units and 4 miles. Then I snag it right away and I didn't. And I'm happy that I didn't. Because I just got this order. No, it's not for Costco, but this is a better order than any of those Costco orders I was seeing. I'm really excited. This is off to an amazing start. I'm like, I knew it, that I was passing on that, especially the 64 I knew I was gonna pass on. But the 58, I almost took it. And this is a 54 for way less work. To a great start. Who cares that it wasn't Costco? This is an amazing batch and the store's only like 5 minutes away. After this, I probably just will go back to Costco looking at where the order is delivering to. There was a lot of batches coming in at the drop. I was like, please don't make me regret this again. Who cares that it's not a Costco order, because I definitely only got this because I was at Costco because it's really close by to this Safeway. And this is a win. I'm like, this is so much better than those Costco orders. and literally think this is gonna take me half an hour. I'm not even joking. The other day, I was really hurrying because I had dinner plans, but the other day, I got a $54 batch for, I think it was for like 50 units, and it was a single customer, again, going like 2 miles, and I got that done in 30 minutes. So if I could do that in 30 minutes, I think I could do 26 items, 33 units, going 3.4 miles in 30 minutes. But I was hurrying a lot that day. So this is my first order of the day, so I'm probably like gonna be a little bit slower till I wake up a bit, which reminds me I need to eat my breakfast that I packed. Just gonna go back to Costco after this and see if there's still good ones flowing in, because there was volume. Like, I was scrolling through all stressed out because I'm like, I don't want to miss the one at the bottom. If you know about what happened last weekend, I missed the big batch at the bottom, so I was like all stressed, and then this one came in and I'm like, okay, no more Costco for at least now. We'll see what happens later. So we're back in the car. That one actually took like 25 minutes just to shop. I was actually over the time, which is annoying because now it's really hard to keep your shopping speed down now that they don't show you the item details. Frustrating, but nothing you can do. I had to wait at the butcher counter, mess around with that, wait at the deli counter, and when that happens, it's just, it tanks your shopping speed really quickly. They would like take that into account when you're just standing there, especially the deli. Like, the deli just, it's never fast. But the good news is it's only a 7-minute drive to the customer, and it is an apartment, which I was kind of surprised by. I guess the order isn't super big, but a lot of times I don't get people that are this generous of tippers that live in apartments, so kind of surprising. It's a really luxury area though, so I guess there's that. Still, this is like an amazing start to the day, and it's very motivating to get good orders in the morning. Okay, got that one dropped off. That is embarrassing that that took me pretty much an hour to do. It's such a small order, but sometimes things just take longer. That was an apartment. It was a pretty far walk. Stopped to get some lunch earlier while I waited for an order, and then while I was having lunch, I got this Sprouts order, and this is a pretty good one. Of course, they have the furthest away customer ordered a couple items and probably isn't tipping. At this point, it feels like so intentional that they do that. But great order overall. Even with lunch, it took an hour and 40 minutes, which I'm happy with because I'm pretty sure at least 15 of that I was still eating my food. I just didn't keep track exactly because I got the order while I was eating. Headed straight over there, finished up that one. I drove back to Costco after that one, waited for a little bit, and I got this Costco order. It's not a 100, but it's pretty close. Even express to you how hot and terrible this is right now. So this is the order. This is for customer B, and then everything else is for A. It said this was a small appliance. Wouldn't exactly call that small. This is barely gonna fit in my car, but we're doing it. I also think it's like 110 degrees outside. It was an absolute monster though. I'm wondering if it sat on the screen, because it did have a boost next to it, which I thought was odd. Because to me, like, anytime an order that big pops up, people don't look at the items, like they just take it. The only reason why I'm wondering is because it had that one giant thing that's back here that you can kind of see it right here. It's a water cooler dispenser thing, and it was listed as a small appliance. I mean, I guess in the realm of appliances, that's normally like a fridge or a freezer. Yeah, I guess this is a small one. But this thing is huge. The order did barely fit in the car. It would not have fit in my other car. I'm almost positive. So good thing I have this car. I'm only a 10-minute drive from the customer. Customer A is this big order, and it's an apartment, which is crazy. I think the order was $800 and something. Obviously, it's this one who's tipping more. We'll see what the breakdown is, because the other order was still pretty big. At least it's a first floor, because I'm like, my cart is not big enough to, this is gonna take 2 to 3 trips to drop off to an apartment, even using the cart. But I'm just happy that it's that it's a first floor. It's a crazy order. Lots of drinks, no waters. I got away with no waters, but a lot of drinks. Your location and meet customer, ask for a signature. I was wondering if it was gonna have that, and I know it's gotta be because this water cooler. I think they put it on just individual items that are over a certain quantity. It requires a signature. I don't think it matters what the order total is, It's just if there's one expensive singular item on there, they make you meet the customer and have them sign. It's pretty close to a 100. I was just talking yesterday about how I missed 4 or 5 $100 batches in a row at Costco, and I was like so defeated. And I'm like, it'll be my time soon. And today I got an 89, and we'll see if it goes up. There was some meat on there, so it might go up, but I did have one refund. There was one, it was an inexpensive item. It was a bag of chips that was only $6 that I could not find anywhere. So there was one refund. So it should stay the same. It probably won't go down. 89. There's a lot of work though. The water cooler thing is crazy. And I did that last, which I probably shouldn't have done. But I was already, I didn't want to walk back and forth because they're at the front of the store and I was already close to the back. And this nice man helped me because I was like, the entire flatbed was filled. And then I'm trying to put this giant water cooler thing on it, and I look probably ridiculous. So at least this guy helped me try to get it on, because I put it on top, and it was really hard to get up there. So yeah, I looked a little silly. That was a little bit of a disaster, but I hit my shopping speed. I don't think I went over it. We'll see how long this ends up taking. A lot of work, and it is 110 degrees outside, literally, I just checked. So this is brutal. I've been waiting to get a big Costco order for a while, so I'll take it. All right, it's 4:12 and I'm just now leaving that first customer. I literally am gonna have to start bringing like a sweat towel. Like, this is just so disgusting and embarrassing. Just dropped the first customer off, and it took 4 trips back and forth from the car to the door. I would not exactly categorize that thing they ordered as a small appliance item. Then my phone has been being annoying with scanning all things recently, and these are brand new phones that I have, and I've been trying to, even just scanning the actual items on Instacart and also scanning customer IDs, it's not scanning it right away. I always have to sit there and like do this in and out with my phone. I don't know what's going on with that, because I'm like, especially when it makes the shopping slower when you're trying to scan something, it won't focus. And I don't know if there's a setting on my phone, but like my old phone had no issue with scanning things quickly, and then I get a new phone and you put the item up to the scanner and it's blurry, and then you have to pull it away, and then sometimes it's then too far away to like scan it even though the image isn't blurry. It's just like, there's always a new problem with the phones. I'm like, it just can never be that easy, I guess. Heading to the second customer after taking 4 trips with the cart for customer A's order. But luckily it was a really short walk. When I saw apartment, I was like, oh my God, like I am screwed because this is awful. But luckily I was able to park close to the street. So that's close to 2 hours, which is pretty bad. So we'll see where I end up after this. Where I'm dropping off, I can't decide if I want to just stay over here, because I'm pretty sure that I'm close to a popular store over in this area, or I might head back to my normal area. We're dehydrated and I need to work on that. I did bring a liquid IV in this water bottle. I'm almost done with it. I've been trying to stay ahead because I'm getting behind, so I'm just trying to catch up, honestly. With working in this heat all day, it's just like impossible to stay up on hydration. All right, so we are now done. Oh my God, it's so bright. With that Costco order, that was a pretty solid 89. It was a lot of work, but I'm so glad I took it. More just because it's close to a $100 Costco order that I finally got. The address was right off the freeway, so it was really easy and quick to just get back. I waited there for like 10 minutes, and then I realized I should probably head somewhere else. An hour and 15 minutes till Costco closes, and the likelihood of getting a good batch that close to when the store closes is probably pretty minimal. But let me know what you guys think or how it is in your area. I'd love to know. Do good Costco orders still come in within like the last hour and a half that the store is open? So I just started heading the other direction, kind of closer to where I normally work, and I was still driving Sprouts order, which this is an amazing order. After doing that one that was just so much work, I'm like, this is exactly what I need. Like something a little bit easy, not crazy pay, but a single shop an easy shop for $42. I'm plenty happy with. It is a repeat customer. So we're gonna go do this one, and I'm only 3 minutes away from the store. All right, so we're in the car now, and I'm only a 6-minute drive from this customer. I've probably had this customer like 4 or 5 times, and yeah, she always tips really well, and I was just so happy to get a good, fast, single order after that Costco one. Just something easy to keep the momentum up. And I got my nice big Sprouts water that I'm definitely gonna finish way too quickly. Here we are, I got a perfect bar at Sprouts. These are so good. Do you guys like those if you've ever had them? I'm obsessed with them. And I love peanut butter so much. And those are like a delicious like peanut butter based protein bar, kind of. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it. They are so delicious. All right, so I finished that one in about 40 minutes. And actually went up to a 46 because she added one item and it was meat. Just got this double stack on Uber. I probably waited less than 5 minutes after I finished that delivery. And I figured that now would probably be a good time to switch over to food delivery. On Instacart orders coming in, but I turned on Doordash and Uber, and sure enough, they're both super busy. And I do this one while I keep looking for an Instacart. Because honestly, my total is we're not doing super well. Given that it's already 6 o'clock, I haven't made that much. Okay, I probably shouldn't have done this, but I just accepted this Instacart order, and it's nothing crazy, but it's a good order, and I don't want to pass this up. It's 6 o'clock. It usually starts dying down around this time, so I'm like, I'll just not wait for something better. I didn't realize, I always do this, and they show the alcohol, so I should have seen it, but it has to be shopped at this Fry's location. The Fry's is really not that close to my deliveries for this Uber double stack. So by the time I get back, it's probably gonna be cutting it super close. I might have to start shopping before they take it away. That kind of sucks because I wanted to shop it at a Fry's. It's a little bit closer, but I have to go to this one because of the alcohol. So I'm just gonna have to zip back there kind of quickly, and yeah, it's probably gonna be kind of close, but I don't think it'll be a problem for them to take it away. Ugh, it's a 40 pack. The 40 packs of waters are so much more difficult than the 24 packs. So I just have to hope that's not an apartment or something. It's gonna make me really sad. Pizza and this food smells so good. One of these orders is Jet's Pizza, and it is one of my all-time favorites. It is so good, I can't even explain. All right, finished both those deliveries, and I did get the warning on Instacart, and it says that shopping needs to start by 6:43 p.m., and I'm gonna get there at 6:39. So right about what I thought. I would still make it in time, but only by a few minutes. And I was a 12-minute drive from these customers' addresses to this Fry's. And like I said, there is a Fry's closer that I was hoping to shop this one at instead, but it's locked to this location because of alcohol, so not the biggest deal. I'm so glad I took it and could get a pretty easy 45. I mean, it's pretty easy as long as that 40 pack of water is not going anywhere difficult. 3 gallons of water is on one of the orders, and her order is the smallest, so all she has is 3 gallons of water and like 2 other items. Has that ever happened to you guys where you've gotten a good batch canceled? It only has happened to me, I think twice. I was gonna say once, but I actually do think it was twice. And it was only one time that it really hurt. I had like a $65 batch for fries that got canceled because I missed getting there by like 1 minute. It was like beyond frustrating. But I got really lucky because what they did was they took my batch away, but then when it got canceled, they just re-batched it. It was a triple stack order with one customer who was tipping heavy. And so they just re-batched the order they took the heavy tip order with 2 other smaller orders. I actually got that same customer who was tipping heavy and had the biggest order. They just rebatched it with 2 different people that were going a different direction. So I kind of got lucky on that one because I think it was like a 58 or something. So I just traded like a 65 for a 58, something like that. Considering the batch got taken away from me, it ended pretty well in the sense that I still got a good batch out of it. But that was just pure luck, and I was so mad when I got that taken away because I missed it by like 1 minute. Seriously, when Instacart warns you, hey, if you don't press start shopping by this time, we will take it away. They take it away the second it turns that time, and there's nothing you can do about it. But the good thing about Instacart is out of all the apps, they give you the most time, which makes sense because it's grocery shopping. Like Instacart tends to give you between 30 and 40 minutes from when you accept a batch to actually start shopping before they take it away. But that's also what's kind of nice, is that it's pretty easy to multi-app and do food delivery, especially during meal times, and just take a good Instacart when it comes in, because chances are you're still gonna have enough time to finish up whatever task you're doing and get to the store and start shopping before they take it away. So it's kind of like a pretty good strategy to be able to just do food deliveries and just grab an Instacart whenever you can. And even if you're on another assignment, it usually works out to where you can get to the store on time. That's what I've been trying to do. And as soon as it hit dinner time tonight, that's what I started doing, and there was pretty good food orders coming in. All right, so we're on the way to the first customer, set to arrive at 7-Eleven, and I did arrive to the store pretty much right when I had to start, so I was there at 6:41. 7:41 would be an hour order, and it's definitely not gonna take that long. So yeah, this is actually a really good order. I don't know why I was kind of talking about it like it wasn't that good earlier. I think I just got discouraged because of the waters. Only a couple things for me to hold, so I don't have to like drag a bunch of bags and stuff with the case of water. So I gotta open their gate, and they didn't give me a code. Do you have a directory code I can call from the gate? Do people just assume the gate's open? Or, I mean, sometimes complexes do leave the gates open, and then maybe people forget that like people can't get in all the time. I'm in the Cane's drive-through now. I did this order just a few minutes ago. It was super easy. But while I was pulling, literally like while I was pulling into a parking spot, my phone fell off my leg onto the floor for like 2 seconds, and that's when this order came in, and I tried to get it, but it was gone. So I'm kind of disappointed about that, because I am at a pretty good total for me for the day, and that really would have helped just like get a nice easy one in at the end of the day. But whatever, nothing I can do. Obviously that batch went right away, especially at this time of night when there's not really much coming in anymore. Also am pretty much out of water. I can't go like 2 seconds without water. It's so hot here, and like I'm always dehydrated no matter what, that the second my water runs out, I like can't go on functioning anymore. It's very, very important. I'm gonna get some Cane's and head home, and there's never circles lit up yellow or red at this time of night on a Sunday, and for some reason there is right now, like for stores all around me. So that's kind of surprising, but I just can't, I don't think I can do it anymore today. I am too tired and just annoyed that I missed that last order. So I'm like, I've been out all day. I will put my total on the screen here. Overall, I do think I did pretty well. I'll add my weekly earnings, which I usually do when I film on Sundays, just to kind of give you an idea for how I'm rounding out the week. I'll put those numbers up here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I think I did hit my goal. My goal was to make at least 600 just over the weekend. Well, I'm calling the weekend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I didn't work all day on Friday or Saturday. So that's kind of why that goal was a little harder to hit. That would have been kind of an easy goal if I was gonna work the whole day. So I am excited because I'm pretty sure I did hit my goal. See what I end up with this month. I am excited for this month because last month I had a couple weeks of being sick, so it really put a dent in my earnings. I hope you enjoyed watching my ride along video throughout this weekend, and I hope to see you in my next video.